So for the past few days now, I've been kind of taking a peek at what Weekly Shonen Jump's catalog has to offer, and just recently, as you all know, I did a video on Act Age, which is in Weekly Shonen Jump, and I'm a big fan of that series. I'm still reading it, I'm around like chapter 30-something, 40-something, and I plan on making another video once I finish the current arc I'm on, the Railroad arc. But, there's other series I peeked at. Like, one of them is Chainsaw Man, which I will talk about later on. But for now, though, this video is on Jujutsu Kaisen. Hopefully, I said the name right. It is a series that has been heavily requested. Like, I think it is probably my most requested series from 2019. Like, it is definitely, at the very least for manga standards, it is my most requested. Because it's just something I think that there must be a big fan base to. I mean, there's just so many people that has constantly mentioned this series to me that I'm like, okay, there has to be a reason why. Let's check this out. Let's see why people are hyping it up. Is it good, etc. And I want to be honest with you. I want to give a full-on 100% first impressions of the first few chapters of the story, because it is worth talking about. It is definitely an interesting series, and I can see why people have been recommending it to me, so I am going to talk about it. Now, if there is one standout thing that I definitely want to mention when it comes to this series, it is the art. The art is absolutely breathtaking. Honestly, words cannot begin to describe how beautiful the art is within this series. And it's one of the reasons why I even got Bleach vibes from this, is not just because of the story or the characters, but it's because of the art. Now, I know many like to kind of make fun of Kubo for his art, you know, when it comes to his backgrounds or lack of backgrounds, but regardless of lack of or non-existent backgrounds, Kubo is a very good artist. He does a really good job with his character designs, his outfits, etc. He's always been fantastic at it when it came to Bleach. And it seems like Jujutsu Kaisen is a series that really the author goes out of their way to give so much detail to the characters, to the outfits. Like, this cover page for Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, like I said, words cannot begin to describe just how beautiful this artwork really is. And it's definitely something that drew me in, that I wanted more as soon as I saw it. When you're introduced to a new series and you see just beautiful artwork like this, you want to see more of it. And that's definitely what it gave me. Those vibes it gave me when I started this for the first time yesterday. Now, there is one little detail I want to point out about the art, and that is the way it really can get the dynamic, you know, field of vision. For instance, when you look at the character on Chapter 2, okay, when you see our MC, I'm assuming it's our MC, you know, Yuji, and, you know, his demonic cursed form, you see to where the way his arms are positioned, there's just a really nice look of dynamic view. Like, the way you see how his hands are positioned, you really have a feel like it's a 3D image. And it's very rare that artwork can really get that feeling from me. But when you see Chapter 2's cover picture, it really does look 3D. So, I give props to the artwork. If there is definitely something that the series has going for it, regardless of anything, it is the artwork. It's fantastic, and it really cannot be stated enough of just how great it looks. The story heavily reminds me of Bleach and a tad bit of Yu Yu Hakusho. Despite everything when it comes to either series, I love both series quite a bit. And being reminded of Bleach and being reminded of Yu Yu Hakusho really makes me happy. Because they are definitely some series that really are a standout in the shonen genre. And when I was reading the first few chapters of, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen, it reminded me a lot of, like, the beginning, like, era of Bleach, when Ichigo first discovered his powers, when he became a Soul Reaper, etc. That's kind of what Yuji, our MC of Jujutsu Kaisen, reminds me of. He reminds me of Ichigo, in terms of just coming to know about what he's kind of capable of, or what he can do, etc. That's the feeling I get. And when it comes to the atmosphere of the curses, like the main villains or enemies of this story, it reminds me a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho and how it comes down to demons and etc., you know, different humans that are corrupt. It reminds me of that, and so it's off to a great start. Just to remind me of those two series in a way, it really made me have a good overall first impressions of Jujutsu Kaisen. But to dive in a little bit deeper to kind of what it's about, though, Basically, it starts off with our main character, Yuji, that is kind of a little bit of an oddball. He's someone that is really strong. He's someone that really stands out amongst the crowd. He's someone that could definitely achieve great things if he was to get into a sport. But he doesn't really want to do that. He just wants to chill, relax, etc. And so he joins a, paranormal activity club just to be able to kind of just be there and have something to do at the end of the day. And obviously, as time goes on, he does grow bonded with them and he does have friendship with them. But at the same time, he's not, fully invested in the whole paranormal, but he is there because he is starting to respect the group of friends he's been hanging out with. Eventually, he goes to his grandpa, and his grandpa is more like a father figure than a actual grandpa figure, because the way the whole conversation goes between the two characters. But basically, the grandpa in his final moments, he basically is like, I want you to live your life to the fullest. I want you to, be surrounded by people. I want you to be able to, be happy. When you finally get to my age and you're about to die, etc., just when you're going to die, I hope you're surrounded by people that care about you, friends, family, etc. And it's something I think many probably want in their life. It's definitely something very realistic. It's a realistic goal to obtain. I think everybody in their life, probably, they know when death finally comes for them, they want to have someone there for them. They want someone to actually be there on their deathbed when they're passing away, because it would be a lonely experience to know no one really cared about you, no one wanted to be there for you when your eyes finally closed permanently. So what the grandpa was saying to our MC Yuji is something that does make sense. It's realistic, it's not something that's a far-fetched goal, it's grounded in reality. So obviously the MC Yuji takes it to heart, and he basically wants to live a life that's fulfilling and also help people and just have, a good conclusion to his life. And that's where things start to get interesting. Basically, as he's, journeying back and all that from his grandpa, and time progresses a little bit, he's eventually encountered by someone that knows about curses, spirits, etc. like that, and basically tells him he has a cursed object on him. This cursed object is apparently very valuable and dangerous. It's by a legendary, demon curse god or whatever called Sukuna. Now, Sukuna, apparently from the lore that we got from, the first chapter of the story, is that Sukuna is someone that could not be properly defeated over 1,000 years ago. Someone that was kind of broken into pieces, but could not properly be eradicated. The Sukuna was just too strong. And so you have these cursed relics and pieces that's kind of sealed him off for over 1,000 years, and you have individuals that are trying to collect him. It's a typical shonen introduction to a story. It's nothing relatively mind-blowing or exciting. When it comes to collecting things or trying to stop the world from an evil power, etc., it's something that you kind of see all the time. I mean, let's think about a couple of things that pop up into my mind. Let's think about, Inuyasha's main objective. The objective of the Inuyasha series, it's about, collecting the sacred jewels. The pieces of the sacred jewels that, are scattered around the entirety of the world. They have to go around their, entire planet or world and basically fight off demons, collect these jewels, and be able to reform it once again together. It's something that you see very common in a shonen series, so it isn't anything that kind of breaks the norm when it comes to collecting these cursed pieces. However, what really does stand out about this, though, is it reminds me a lot of, let's say, Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho in regards to the MC Yuji. He's someone that may be very gifted, very strong, but he is obviously not someone that can actually use cursed energy. He cannot use basically the power system of this story. He's not able to actually fight with what you can normally fight with if you're trying to fight curses, spirits, etc. But he decides to take it upon himself to consume a piece of Sukuna to be able to fight back against this curse that was about to kill the person he just met in chapter 1. And so when he eats this cursed object, which is basically a finger of Sukuna, one of the strongest curses to ever exist, like the king of all curses, you have it to where basically he gets extraordinary power. But because of doing this, he no longer is a human. He basically transcends from his human form, and he becomes something much more. He becomes something that is no longer human, no longer cursed. He's a mix within between, which is where I get the heavy Bleach vibes. And when you see this aspect of him, you can see that this could lead to a lot of psychological problems in the future of the story. Because as you see throughout the first couple of chapters, that you see Yuji has this other personality now within him. It's not just the fact that he absorbed or ate, a cursed relic like Sukuna, like the finger, and put it inside of his body, but now he basically has the very presence of Sukuna in his body. He basically has the personality of that King of Curses and wants to take over his body. It's also very reminiscent of Naruto. If you know about, the nine-tailed fox and how it basically was always trying to struggle, break out of Naruto and, take control of him, etc., it's kind of reminiscent of that, basically, when it comes to this plot point of the story. So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to the psychological nature of it can lead to where MC struggles greatly with trying to maintain balance with his newfound power, but also his humanity. Will he lose his humanity along the way, or will he truly be able to rein in and take control of Sukuna before he's actually eventually just destroyed, like his entire existence is destroyed completely? It's a very interesting plot point. Even though it has been done before in the past with many other series, it's still a plot point that I'm personally not really bored with. I really like that type of plot point because it's very interesting to see characters struggling with their humanity and figuring out if they're really a monster, devil, etc., or are they still the human they once were. It's always a story plot line I've always enjoyed growing up. And so I know many might not be a big fan of that, but I know personally I am. So, backing up here, though, is this a series worth reading? Is it something that I personally enjoyed? Personally, yes. I enjoyed reading the first 3 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen. It was a really fun read. It's definitely something that doesn't seem like it's breaking the norm, but it's because I've only read the beginning chapters that it seems like it isn't. There most likely is a lot more going on here within the story than meets the eye because of just how popular this series has gotten. For it to kind of warrant such a fan base and for it to survive in Shonen Jump for this long, it definitely means that it's doing something right. So in that regard, I do think that this series is definitely worth reading. It's definitely something that caught my interest, and it's definitely something I want to continue to read to see where it goes. So, anyways, I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. That's my first impressions on the story. It's really good. I enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see more of this series. And let me know your thoughts if you would like more of Jujutsu Kaisen. Do you want me to review more of this series? Do you want me to check out Chainsaw Man? I mean, let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. But I love you guys. I want you all to have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Stay healthy. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.